I am the lazy inspirational chef, and of course, this is Tina's Joyful Kitchen. There's no place on earth I'd rather be than right here, literally in my kitchen, teaching you how you can cook easy, healthy, fun meals for you, for your family. I've been a health and wellness coach for 20 years. It baffles me every time I say that it's been 20 years. And, it is so much fun. I'll tell you, I just love, love, love what I do. And thank you for being here and watching me month after month at Fairfax County. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let me tell you what's on the menu today. Let me tell you what's on the menu. If you didn't already get the recipes, I know Kaylee puts them up on the website. And she can put the link in there if anybody needs that link. Now, today we're going to make simple roasted turkey breast. Y'all think that turkey is just for Thanksgiving, and it's not. Turkey breast is wonderful when it's cooked right. Secondly, we're going to make these Mediterranean egg bites. You've seen them called sous vide eggs, and they're not, they're little egg bites, and they are an amazing little quick snack. I'm so hungry, but dinner is an hour away and I don't want to snack on a bag of chips. Give me something to snack on. Oh, I need breakfast. Let me grab a couple of egg bites. So we're going to do some egg bites. And then my piece de resistance, the most important, the most beautiful thing I cannot wait to show you how to make are the Easter eggs. I know Easter has passed, but you can always eat Easter eggs. Who here loves Easter eggs? Put Easter eggs in the chat if you love Easter eggs. If you love Easter eggs, I'm going to teach you how to make Easter eggs that are not terrible for you. They're not terrible for you. We get those Easter eggs in the store, and what are those called? The Cadbury eggs, and they're full of caramel. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering thinking about them. They're full of caramel and they're full of nougat and a whole bunch of other stuff that gives you a sugar high for hours. Okay. Yeah, Easter eggs, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. Now, you think I'm crazy, but we're going to start with the Easter eggs because there's a lot of pieces going on with the Easter eggs, and I actually had to get it started before our class today. Then we're going to do the egg bites, and then I'll talk to you about the turkey breast, which is in the oven right now. Okay. Now, these Easter eggs, you have to have some kind of a silicone mold in order to make these. And yes, it's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. And it doesn't, once you get the routine of how to make them, you'll make these every year because they are going to make beautiful treats for your family that are not going to be terrible for them, which is what's most important. So we're not going to do the whole thing, but it goes in pieces. So we're going to keep revisiting this. The first thing that I did is I got a double boiler, which really isn't a double boiler. It's a pot with another pot on top of it. This is actually made for double boiling, this piece here. And I put a bag of chocolate chips. Ooh, there's my timer. Okay, Google, stop. That is my timer to check my roasted turkey breast. So let's go check that real quick because that's how cooking is. You have to multitask when you're cooking, and it's joyful. I don't care what anybody says. Now I'm checking for 160 degrees, and it's not. It's only at about 120. If you don't have an instant read thermometer, get one. Who has an instant read thermometer? Put a 1 in the chat if you have an instant read thermometer. Put a 2 if you want to get one. Put a 3 if you could care less. Instant read thermometers are the bomb. I highly recommend that you get them. Okay. Nobody could care less. That's good. Good. You guys got to get one because who here has mangled their meat trying to figure out, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Don't do that. Don't do that. Get yourself an instant read thermometer and you will have perfect meat done every single time and safe for you and your family. And that's the key. We want it safe. You're like, Tina, what did you just put in your chocolate chips? So I melted the chocolate chips in my double boiler and they tend to be a little thick. So I added a teaspoon of some coconut oil. Let me talk to you about chocolate chips. Let me back up a couple of steps here. I love Lily's chocolate chips, sweetened with stevia, lowers the glycemic index. Awesome. And it's organic chocolate. The other chocolate chips that I have, I couldn't find those last night when I was at Wegmans. I found Enjoy Life morsels. These are organic, dark chocolate. These do have a little bit of sugar in them. They're still much better for you than the regular chocolate chips that you'll find in the store. If you want to use those, that's perfectly fine. The other thing you could do, if you don't want to buy the chocolate chips, and this is super simple as well, is you're going to get a quarter cup of coconut oil, throw that in there, and then you're going to get a quarter cup of cocoa powder. You can even do the Hershey's cocoa powder. This is cocoa powder I got from my organic market called from the company Nativas. Nativas. Who here loves chocolate? Put chocolate in the chat if you are a chocoholic. I'll tell you, I'm a chocoholic. I always have cocoa powder to make some kind of hot cocoa or something in my pantry. If you're a chocoholic, put chocolate in the chat. Yeah. So anyhow, you can do a quarter cup of coconut oil, melt that up, put a quarter cup of cocoa powder, stir that in, put a pinch of salt, a little bit of vanilla, and you have chocolate. It's freezer chocolate. It won't stay very good outside of the freezer, but that would work as well. So I melted a little bit of coconut oil in with my chocolate. I just wanted to make it a little looser. So that's what I did there. And now we're going to do part one. And then I'll tell you about the caramel that I'm making over here in a moment. Okay. So I remember when I was growing up in Trenton, New Jersey, there was a big Italian contingency or Italian area. I think it's all gone now. It's years later. But, and there was a restaurant called Chianti's that we would go to. And one of my favorite things at Chianti's was their tiramisu. Did I ever tell you this story? I don't even remember if you guys have been with me before, if I've told you this story or not before. But Chianti's, the tiramisu was amazing. So we had dinner. I'm like, okay, I'll have some tiramisu. They ran out. From then on, every single time that I went there, I ordered my dessert first. So it's okay to think about dessert first. I almost forgot. I forgot to do this last time. And yeah, grease the inside of your little egg molds. These are silicone egg molds. Go online. You could find them. I even have bunnies. I have all sorts of ones, but the bunnies have the ears and the caramel won't work well with these. The bunnies I do muffins with. So I'm just going to spray with a little bit of, just a little smidgen of an olive oil spray. There's no propellants. There's no bad oils in here that you're going to get from other sprays. So I like that organic extra virgin olive oil spray. So now I'm going to get my chocolate. Oh, these are so good. I cannot wait to show you the finished product. I'll show you that at the end though, okay? So I'm going to put like maybe a little less than a tablespoon into each of my chocolate molds. Now, I want you to know I had to double the recipe because these are large chocolate molds, or egg molds, I should say. If your egg molds are a little smaller, then you might not have to double the recipe, but I did. I had to double the recipe in order to make this happen. So I'm going to put about a little less than a tablespoon into each of the mold. And then I'm going to take my spoon. Let's do a close up on this. Let's do a close up on this, Caitlin. And you see what I'm doing here? You guys can see that. Get that parsley out of the way. I'm just going to roll this around and use my spoon and move my chocolate just to cover it all. And I'll go back and make sure the entire mold gets covered. I might have to put more chocolate in here. The chocolate's a little hot, so it's having a hard time standing up at the sides, but it's okay. It'll cool off. It'll cool off in a few moments. Let me turn that off. All right. You don't have to be perfect with these. Life is messy. Life is messy. Who agrees with me? Life is messy. Put messy in the chat. Life is messy, and your chocolate molds can be messy. Okay? My husband, every time I make something with chocolate, he'll come in the kitchen and find chocolate all over my face because I cannot help but taste my chocolate as I go along. Because I just, nectar of the gods, nectar of this earth. It's wonderful. Next best thing next to spring flowers, right? Yep, so that's all you're doing is moving it around. and and maybe you need a little bit more chocolate in them. And it is a little hot, which is why it's giving me a hard time here. Okay, not perfect, but what did I say? Life is messy. Here we go. Let's come back to me. And you get the idea there, right? You get the idea of just do the best you can here. You make sure that this is off. Let's turn that off. Okay. You know me, I hate electric stoves. One of these days, I'm going to find a little burner that I can put with gas on my countertop here. One of these days, because I'm not leaving this house for a while because I like my house. Who loves their house? Who loves their kitchen? Put kitchen in the chat if you just love your kitchen, or put something else in the chat if you need a new kitchen. Okay, I'm being a little particular with these, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Now, you can put them in the fridge, but I'm going to put them in the freezer, okay? I think the freezer sets them a little bit better than the refrigerator, and I think in my instructions I did say refrigerator. I'm not going to be too picky. I'm just going to put them right in the freezer. Hey, I actually designed my kitchen myself almost 18 years ago, 16 years ago, I think it was. I built it myself. I love it. Yeah, good. Yeah, life is messy. Life is messy. So the second part that you need to do ahead of time for the eggs is the caramel. The caramel, what I find is that it takes a little longer than the 10 minutes that I put in the instructions. I hadn't made them in a while and I didn't take notes the last time I made them. What I did is I got my honey, of course I doubled it up, and I heated it up for about 5 minutes. And then I put in a tablespoon, actually it's supposed to be a half, but I doubled the recipe, of some, you can use ghee, you can use real butter. I used butter flavored coconut oil. If you don't like coconut oil, if you don't like the flavor of coconut oil and refuse to use it, find yourself some butter flavored coconut oil and use it, because it's antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial. It will help you just clean out your body. It'll help balance your body and detox your body. Okay. So use coconut oil on a daily basis. And who here likes coconut? If you like coconut oil and stuff, if you like the flavor, put a 1 in the chat. But if you're like, nah, Tina, I really don't like it, put a 2 in the chat. If you like coconut oil, put a 1 in the chat. And if you don't, put a 2 in the chat. I want to see. Yeah, not everybody likes coconut. Not everybody likes coconut. So try the butter flavored coconut oil. So anyhow, what did I say? I heated up the honey for 5 minutes, and then I added a tablespoon of that butter flavored coconut oil and a half a cup of coconut milk, a half a cup of coconut milk from the can. When you open up the can, all of the fat is up at the top. So what I do is I dump it into a big jar, shake it up so you get the fat and the coconut milk all mixed in together. Always use the can for this caramel. Okay.
Hey, Tina.
Yeah.
What is the best coconut oil to use?
I love Nutiva. I love the brand Nutiva. Another brand that I really like is called Tropical Traditions. You absolutely have to get that one online. Nutiva, you can find this at My Organic Market, and I think Whole Foods has it as well. Those are the brands that I know that are good and that I use and that I like. Okay. So here's and a pinch of salt went in there too, a half teaspoon of salt. So here's great question. Please ask questions. I love questions. Here's the hard part. Let it simmer for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes until it gets thick. Okay. Until it gets, ouch. I'm trying to keep my chocolate hot. So what I'm going to do is the heat is off, but I'm just going to put the lid on there to keep my chocolate hot for later. Okay, so here's the hard part. We're going to let this simmer and simmer for a good, I don't know, more than 10 minutes. I'm going to keep stirring it. And Caitlin's going to remind me to go back and stir it so that, oh, you know what? I didn't put another timer on my turkey breast. So let's check that in 5 minutes, Caitlin, okay? Let's check that in 5 more minutes. Check the temperature on that turkey breast. You know, it's so funny. I always say at the beginning of most of my sessions is that when we multitask, we literally experience less joy. and it's true. And when I'm in the kitchen multitasking, I don't know what it is. I am just joyful the entire time. I love it. And I always encourage people, though, when you're on these webinars, to be with me 100%, right? Close out your browsers, close out your phone, and be with me so that you can experience the most fun, the most joy. All right. And I forgot to ask you all to just do that, to just put your phone on silent, close out those browsers, and be with me 100%. If you guys are in, put I'm in the chat. If you guys are in, put I'm in the chat. Yeah. Oh, there's some other Samoas. Okay, so yeah, if you're in to be with me 100% and have some fun and experience a lot of joy today, just type I'm in the chat. However, when you're in the kitchen, go ahead and multitask because it's fun when you're in the kitchen, not when you're at work. Don't do it at work. Don't do it at work. Let's do some Mediterranean bites, egg bites, Mediterranean egg bites. You ready? We're going to come back to this. Oh, hold on. You've got to see this. Let me do a close up. Let's do a close up real quick. Let's do a close up real quick. You see how that's frothing? Keep heating it up. Keep heating it up. Don't stop until it gets a little thicker and a little more caramelized and a little browner, okay? Don't stop. I made the mistake one time is that I'm like, I think this is done. It said 10, 12 minutes. It should be done. Well, it was all liquidy the next day and because I went to bed early. And I'm like, oh, it's not done. I had to heat the whole thing up back again. So just keep doing it. Even if it takes you 40 minutes, just keep doing it until it's nice and caramelized. By the way, this is a silicone little spatula. I have 2 or 3 of them. Love them. So recommend that you get those. Okay, Instant Pot. We're going to use our Instant Pot for our egg bites, and I'm going to use this that comes with the, well, it's an accessory that you can get with the Instant Pot, okay? They're for sous vide eggs or egg bites or whatever, okay? I actually have 2, so I could make, I found when I made one, it's only 7 of them. I'm like, that's not enough. We need more. Because when I cook, I want to cook in big batches and not have to cook more, right? So who loves to cook in big batches? And then this way you have lunches and extra food in the house. If you like big batches, cook in big batches, type a 1 in the chat. Go ahead and type a 1 if you like to cook in big batches. Now, here it is, guys. You don't need to have these silicone little Instant Pot things. By the way, they fit in a 6-quart pot as well as an 8-quart pot. You could simply get glass jars and put the glass jars in your Instant Pot, okay? Now, those of you, if you have an Instant Pot, put Instant Pot in the chat. If you have an Instant Pot, put Instant Pot in the chat. If you don't have an Instant Pot, put no. Put no, okay? Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot, what you can do, yeah, okay, so there's some of you who have Instant Pots, some of you who don't. It's about, oh, you got to take it out. Athena says she has it, but she's never used it. Take it out. If you don't have an Instant Pot, this is what I want you to do. You're going to get my recipe. You're going to get one of these egg muffin cups, and you're going to pour them in your muffin cups, and you're going to cook them in the oven, okay? You can cook them in the oven, 350 for about 10 minutes and see if they're done in 10 minutes. Now, the other thing you can do with this, and my husband loves it when I make them like this with the muffin cups, is that I get this uncured, that means nitrate-free lunch meat, and I'll line all of the little cups with the lunch meat and then pour the egg stuff on top. Oh my gosh, he loves them. Loves them that way. But we're gonna make our Instant Pot thing, okay? Oh, and the other thing, you don't have to have this, but it really helps. This is a trivet that you're gonna put in there so that when they're done, to take them out, you're not reaching into a hot pot and burning your hands. You can just pull it out like so. So I highly recommend that you do get a trivet, okay, if you're going to make them this way. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put this on saute, and we're going to saute a little bit of onion. Let me grab my onion over here. And I'm going to be constantly stirring my caramel, turning the heat down just a little bit and making sure it doesn't stick on the bottom or the side. So just constantly go back and stir it up. Okay. Now, a lot of you, no to pressure, you have a no to pressure cooker. Okay. Well, you can cook them in those little muffin cups. A lot of you have already seen me cut up an onion, right? And you know how to cut up an onion without crying. Are there some of you out there who still need to know how to cut up an onion without crying? Are there still some of you out there who still need to learn how to cut up an onion without crying? Anybody?
And Tina, your 5-minute timer went off.
Really? It did, huh? All right. So tell me, if you want me to show you how to peel an onion or how to cut up an onion, put cry in the chat without crying. Oh, this is a really difficult. Must be a very fresh onion because the skin is very difficult to come off. You do want me to show you. Okay. So I will show you that after I check my turkey in the oven. Hold on a second. All right. If you want to do that you don't have to peel the onion just yet, okay? If you want to learn how to do it without crying. It's so simple. It's simple. I'll show you. Give me a minute. Instant read thermometer. If I was you, where would I be? Here we go. Okay, let's check it out. 152.6. Nope. I want it to be 160 before I pull it out of the oven. 5 more minutes, please. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, now how to peel an onion without crying. Personally, I don't cry, and I think it's because I have contacts. And the contacts probably protect my eyes from the juices. It's literally the juices of the onion that splash up into your eyes and make you cry. But there's also, now look, I'm not going to promise this, I'm not promising this at all, but there's something you could do. You see this hair, think about hair is on the top, but this is what the root was into the ground, right? They say that if you remove this piece first, you won't cry. So you're going to take your knife and you're going to go in at a diagonal. Let's do a close up here. You're going to go in at a diagonal and you're going to go around your onion in a diagonal and cut out that root. You see that? And they say that it's this that makes you cry. That's what they say. Not guaranteeing it to you. I'm just so not guaranteeing it to you because, like I said, I don't typically cry. Now, another way you can cut your onion, make it easy for you. By the way, use your whole knife. Hold your knife like so. Who remembers knife skills? Who remembers knife skills? Put knife skills in the chat if you remember knife skills. If you want me to show you knife skills, put show in the chat. Put show in the chat if you want me to show you knife skills. Okay, good. You remember your knife skill. Okay, so you want me to show you. So most people hold their knife like this or like this, right? And what happens if the knife slips, this slips and you cut your finger possibly, right? So this is what I want you to do. 3 fingers on the tang, on the blade, on the handle. Index finger on one side of the blade, thumb on the other side of the blade, middle finger butted up against the back of the blade here. You see that? So this way, if the knife is wobbly or goes side to side, it won't move. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Now, the next thing with knife skills, many people they just get something and they chop straight down. Don't do that. There's an entire blade from top to bottom. And I want you to use the whole blade. So I already made these cuts, but you're going to go in and then down. You're going to use your whole blade. Now, what I did with this onion to make it a little easier for me is I didn't cut all the way through. I just scored it. Okay. So now I'm going to make a claw with my fingers, hold my onion so it doesn't slip around. But those pieces, they're not going to slip so much because they're all together. I didn't cut them all the way through. Now I'm going to use my whole knife, holding it properly. And you see how I'm going to use the tip all the way through. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but they say that you don't use muscles in the kitchen. You do. Put some muscle, put some elbow grease into it. Now, also, the blade is butted up almost to the back of my fingers here. The back of my fingers are guiding the knife, okay? And sometimes I dig my fingers into the vegetable too a little bit, just to make sure that it holds still. Now you see how this piece got a little wonky? I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to cut my beautiful fingers, and neither do you. So don't worry about it. Lay it on its side and chop it up sideways. It's okay. It's all good. Now, finish this sentence for me. Finish this sentence for me. A dull knife is a dull knife is a, finish the sentence. A dull knife is a, what? Who knows the answer to this? A dull knife is a dangerous knife. Thank you. A dull knife is a dangerous knife. So you want to sharpen your knives at least once a year. At least once a year. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil in my saute pan. I forgot to do that before, and now it's yelling at me, telling me that it's hot, but whatever. And I'm going to throw my onions in. Woo, sizzle, sizzle. Here it is, sizzle, sizzle. I'm going to put a little salt in there too. I'm not doubling up the recipe today, just so that we have enough time. So, back to the dull knife. The dull knife is a dangerous knife. Never use the blade of your knife to scrape up your vegetables. Use either your hands, the back of the knife, which you might cut yourself, so don't do that one, or get something like so and scoop everything up and throw it in, okay? Next, I'm gonna get some peppers. I found these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful red peppers. So we're gonna throw in about a quarter cup of red peppers. I love these guys. And what I do sometimes is I get them, and who here gets jealous when everybody else in the house is eating chips and you want to eat chips? Make your own chips with your peppers. Aren't they beautiful? Love them, love them, love them. We're going to do about 3 of these. And these are cool. They don't have any seeds in them, so there's no mess with the seeds on these. Sometimes I do get a lot of seeds. So look, pepper chips. Like it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's chop up some pepper chips. And then we're going to throw them in with the onions. So my 5-minute timer went off, Caitlin?
Yep, 5-minute timer.
All right.
Don't forget to stir.
All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me to stir my caramel. Let me chop up these peppers and then I'll go check that stuff, okay? Remember, use your whole knife. You don't chop straight down. Use the whole knife. Use the whole knife. Get your fingers out of the way. Always claw your fingers. Always claw your fingers. Get them out of the way. I've cut my fingers way too many times. So I had to go and learn some knife skills so that I stopped cutting my fingers. I love mountain biking, and I take a lot of risks, and I end up crashing too much. So what did I do? I took a mountain bike clinic to learn how not to crash so much. And that's the same thing with you, So I'm so happy that you're here learning some skills so that you don't injure yourself. Okay, let me get a wooden spoon, stir that about. And then I'm going to put the saute on less. Okay. Did I put salt in there? I must have. Yep. Thank you. Somebody knows. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. I cannot wait to show it to you. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I'm sure it's 160. Oh, tin foil. Needed to put a little tin foil on it when it comes out of the oven. So basically you want to cook it to 160 degrees, take it out, and then put the tin foil on it for about 5-10 minutes, and then that will bring it, it'll continue to cook, and it'll bring it up to 165, which is the safe temperature for you to be eating it, okay?
Do you know what kind of peppers, were they sweet peppers that you used?
These were sweet bell peppers. I never use green peppers because honestly, they're just not, they're just not ripe, and they're very hard to digest. The yellow peppers, the red peppers, the orange peppers, much easier to digest. These are ripe, they're sweet, they're wonderful. Now, I always say the world is your oyster, and I call myself the inspirational chef because you don't have to use peppers if you don't like them. Look at these beautiful portobello mushrooms. Use mushrooms if you'd rather mushrooms. Use some scallions instead of the onions, or mix them all together. Put in whatever you want. Put in whatever you want. So I'm going to keep sauteing those for a few moments, and I'm going to do my eggs. Now, who here has ever cracked a whole bunch of eggs and then found one egg that was bad? Who here has ever done that and then one egg was bad? You had to throw the whole thing out. Yeah, who's ever done that? Yep, who's ever done that? So instead of cracking the eggs right into the bowl, grab a separate little bowl. It takes an extra, second to crack it into the bowl and then throw it into your big bowl, okay? This way, if you have a bad egg, you don't ruin the entire batch. How do you know that it's a bad egg? It'll come out super liquidy. It'll smell bad, okay? You'll feel it, you'll smell it right away. You don't even have to bring it up to your nose. I promise you, you will smell it. And again, it'll be super liquidy. Oops. I'm still sauteing. This is where the multitasking comes into play a little bit. Okay, there we go. Oh, I forgot to tell you. You haven't already heard me say this. Happy chickens lay what? Happy chickens lay what? Who knows the answer to that? Happy chickens lay happy eggs. Happy chickens lay happy eggs. So make sure you're getting cage-free eggs. Organic eggs are the best. And yeah, so somebody put happy eggs in the chat. Put happy eggs in the chat. Let me see it. Happy eggs. Happy chickens lay happy eggs. Happy chickens, happy eggs. Happy chickens, happy eggs. Yeah, just think about that. That when the chickens are able to free roam and eat the bugs and everything else that they're supposed to be eating, they are happier. The eggs are full of B vitamins like you need. They're wonderful. Now, let me remember everything else that goes into this. These are almost done. Just going to let them saute for a few more moments, get them a little soft. And we're going to do 6 eggs. Let me do a pinch of salt. Just going to pinch it. Sea salt, right? You guys remember we're doing sea salt these days? Why are we doing sea salt? Who remembers why we're doing sea salt? Who remembers? Happy eggs are your favorite. Yeah. Who remembers why we're doing sea salt? Who remembers? Also, I want you to know something. Salt enhances the flavor. Pepper changes the flavor. If you don't already have a pepper grinder, invest in one. They're not that expensive. And the flavor profile of already ground up pepper and freshly cracked pepper is astounding. I almost forgot. Normally I cough when I do too much pepper. Okay, so next we're going to do some sun-dried tomatoes, because these are Mediterranean things, egg bites. And I found them, they're already sliced up. So I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes. When you do the sous vide eggs, you don't want a ton of moisture. So that's why you don't want to do fresh tomatoes with the sous vide eggs, because they might not come out as good. Okay, we're going to do about a 1/4 cup. Actually, I called for a 1/3, so I'm going to put a little bit extra. Remember, I call myself the lazy inspirational chef. I don't always measure. Freaks my sister out, but that's okay. I got eggs, salt, pepper, sun-dried tomatoes, feta cheese. You could also do goat cheese if you want goat cheese. And I'm going to do some parsley. Why is parsley so good? By the way, you don't have to put parsley in the refrigerator. Put it in a glass jar with some water at the bottom, and then put it in the refrigerator, and it'll last a long time. Or you can sit it on your countertop if it's not too cold. I mean, not too hot in the house, and it'll stay nice and fresh. And when I'm done, if I'm not using it in meals and I've got a bunch of parsley left over, I'll make a little pesto with parsley and any other greens that I have, because I like pesto.
Hey, Tina, when it comes to salt, can you use Himalayan salt?
Yes. Oh, did anybody answer my question? Did anyone answer my question as to why we're eating using sea salt? Did anyone answer that question?
Somebody said
No?
minerals and they're better for you.
Yes, so you guys know. Good. Sea salt is full of minerals. 78 plus minerals are in sea salt, and your body needs those minerals. It's also devoid in a lot of our vegetables because of the soil's been depleted. So we need those minerals because it's the minerals that help us get hydrated. Just we need minerals to survive is the bottom line. And look, I'm going to chop again a little funky for you so that you can see how I'm chopping here. I'll show you. Closed fingers, close up, please. And we're going to closed fingers on top of the knife, hold the knife properly like I taught you. And I'm holding the tip still, and I'm just going to run it back and forth to help me mince my parsley. Okay, that thing is in my way. Don't use the knife to move things around. Don't do it. You'll ruin the blade. Don't want to ruin your blade.
To piggyback off of storing your, can you do the same thing with cilantro?
Yep, same thing with cilantro, same thing with basil, same thing with all of your herbs. Put them in water, put them in the fridge. It'll make them last a lot longer. I was supposed to put that in the bowl, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Supposed to, yeah, they'll last a lot longer that way. Oh, and another trick that I have, I'll show you. Another trick I have to preserve your vegetables are these. You'll find them mostly green bags, but these are keep it fresh bags, farmer's secret bags. And this prevents the ethylene gas from, you know, a lot of people end up with a whole bunch of vegetables in their refrigerator that, oh my gosh, I forgot to eat them. Put them in those bags and they'll last a lot longer. They'll last a lot longer. Okay. So next, what we need are these vegetables in there. And since this is hot, cancel. We're going to cancel there and put these right into our eggs. Could have gotten a pot holder, huh? Oh, well. Remember, if you don't like peppers, don't use them. Use whatever you like. The mushrooms would have been beautiful and scallions. That would have been a nice combination. Oh, back to the parsley. You want to use parsley in your meals. You know, at restaurants, they always put a little piece of parsley on your dish, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to eat that. And it's just to make the dish look pretty. No. The idea behind the parsley on your plate is that it cleanses your palate after a meal. You'll probably want less sugar. And it's also very detoxifying for your liver. It's very, very, very good for your liver. Now, I need a cup of water in here, so I'm going to go get a cup of water.
Somebody brought up a great point. Won't the hot veggies cook the eggs in the bowl?
Yep, I'm supposed to be stirring it right now so that it doesn't cook the eggs. Yep. I'm supposed to be stirring it right away.
And don't forget to stir your caramel.
Oh, we're going to talk about that next. That's pretty much done. I need a little bit more water in here.
One last question on the herbs. How long can you store the herbs in the water or glass jar? How long does it last?
Depends on how old they were from the store. Great question. Depends on how old they were. I mean, if they were fresh from your garden and then you put them in water and put them in your refrigerator, probably last up 2, maybe 3 weeks. Sometimes we just don't know how old things are. How long they were in the store for, you know? You just don't know. You just don't know. Okay, so now we're going to put them into our egg bite molds. Again, if you do not have this mold, get little glass jars. I've done it before I got these molds, and use the little glass jars. Just be sure to line the inside with a little coconut oil or that spray olive oil, and they'll be good to go. All right. Oh, that caramel's almost done. How are we doing on time? Oh boy. Got a lot to do with you here. Let's get these egg bites going. Yeah, parsley is really good for the liver, and people poo-poo it and they don't eat it. My mom always, always, always had parsley growing outside. We lived in the city and we had just like a little plot of grass or a plot of earth in the backyard. And we had parsley growing. We had parsley growing because mom always wanted parsley. Fresh parsley at that, freshly picked parsley. And every year she asks me, "Do you have parsley seeds? Do you need some parsley seeds?" Every year. Of course I have them. Of course I grow my own parsley. Not in the winter though. Okay, so that's done there. Let's put these in. So remember, we're going to put the trivet in first. And don't worry that the Instant Pot was dirty. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's put those in. Remember, in your Instant Pot, always remove this, wash it, dry it, and then insert it. Okay, right in there, that plastic thing. People forget to do that. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on, put the valve to closing, and then we're going to put pressure cook for only 8 minutes. Okay. Now, this is going to take a little time to come to pressure, and then it's going to take 8 minutes to cook, and then we'll pop them out. Hopefully, I took a lot of time talking today. Oh my gosh. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers, they'll be done. Now, let's take a look at the caramel. Let's take a look at the caramel. And you see, again, it's all frothy on the top. Got to do a close-up on this one. And you see how it's frothy on the top? And you look how thick it is. This is when it's ready. When it's super thick like this, that's when it's ready, but we can't use it yet because it's too hot. It's too hot. So I'm going to put it over here on top of ice packs from my freezer and let it cool off. Hopefully it'll cool off quickly without burning a hole in those. All right, what do we have to do next? Let's talk next about turkey. Who wants to talk turkey with me? Turkey talk. Put turkey in the chat if you want to talk turkey. We're going to put turkey in the chat if you want to talk turkey with me. Turkey. Let's talk turkey. Let me see turkey in the chat. You guys want to talk turkey. Talk turkey. Talk turkey. Talk turkey. Turkey. All right, good, good, good. Now, let me show you my turkey. Get rid of the tin foil. We don't need that any longer. We're going to get my instant read thermometer. It should be 165, but it was sitting for more than 5 minutes. Yep, exactly. 165.7. Love instant read thermometers. I so recommend that everyone get them. Now, I know that I cooked this already, but I wanted to show this to you. Actually, I'm going to cut it up on my cutting board first. I'll cut it up on the cutting board and then I'll put it onto the platter. This is what I did. I know I got a lot going on here and I always want more space.
Tina, while you're setting that up, will coconut oil cause cholesterol to go up?
Absolutely not. It's sugar and hydrogenated fats that cause cholesterol to go up, not coconut oil. Okay, so this is a great question. Keep asking them. I love your questions. So this is what I did with my spices, and this is what I do with all of my spices. I double, triple, quadruple my recipe, and I put them in jars, and I'll put the lid on the jar, and then I'll put it away. So I know next time I want to make my turkey breast recipe, I've got my seasonings already done, okay? And this particular recipe has oregano, onion powder, garlic powder. Of course, you can use real garlic. It's much better for you. But for rubs and seasonings, I don't worry about the raw garlic. I use it in everything else. It has thyme and paprika and freshly cracked black pepper. It also has rosemary. And my husband hates the rosemary sticks that get caught in his teeth. He calls them sticks. So I try to fake him out now. I get the rosemary and I put it in a mortar and pestle and I'll smash up the rosemary right here. I'll smash it all up and, oops, got it in my juice. If you don't already have a mortar and pestle, I love them. I love cooking on stoneware. I love cooking with this stoneware. I love cooking with the mortar and pestle because it's marble, more stone. I just feel like I'm more connected with the earth. And wooden spoons, wooden cutting boards, absolutely love them, love them, love them. So one time my husband said, "Did you put sticks in that?" And I said, "No," but it tastes like there's sticks in there. So apparently he really just doesn't like the flavor of rosemary. And rosemary is one of my favorite herbs next to basil. What's your favorite herb? Put it in the chat. What's your favorite herb? Put that in the chat. What is your favorite herb? Put it in the chat. So I'm going to mash that up a little bit more, and then I'll put it in with my spice, put it in the cabinet, label the lid so that I have that. Okay, really fun to have. People are like, "Oh, I don't know how to cook." It's really easy. Get all your spices in line, get all your sauces. Super easy. It's not that difficult, guys. And it can be joyful. It can be very joyful. Okay, so this is coming up to pressure. I didn't have that lid on properly, so now it's coming up to pressure. Back to the turkey breast. What I did is I got all those spices and I poured olive oil in them in a little jar and another one of those little cups like so. Put the spices in, poured olive oil in there, and then I got my hands dirty once. Opened up the package to put my turkey breast on my plate that I'm cooking on. I almost forgot to turn that off. Rubbed it all with the herbs, with the spice mix. And this particular turkey breast has skin on it. You don't have to eat it, but it's wonderful because it'll keep the turkey moist, more moist. And what I did is I poked a couple of holes underneath the skin, and I got the rub, I put it underneath the skin, and I put some into the holes so that the herbs go all the way down into the holes. And then I just put it on my stoneware. Who here loves stoneware? If you've cooked with stoneware, put a 1 in the chat. If you're new and you're like, "What is stoneware?" Put a 2 in the chat. It cooks your food so evenly. And it's supposed to be dark brown like this once you've loved it and used it for a very long time. Yeah, if you haven't used stoneware, I highly recommend that you try it. Now, this piece is not in the recipe that I gave to you, but what I did over here, just like when I'm making a turkey, I always stuff it with lemons and oranges. So what I did, and carrots, I cut up an onion, put the onion on the sides, cut up carrots, cut up a lemon, squeezed lemon all over everything, and I had a couple of mandarin oranges. I cut them in half and squeezed them over everything, and then cut up carrots. My husband just loves cooked carrots. So this juice and all of the vegetables other than the orange and lemon peel, I will put onto my tray, Okay, so let's do that. I'm not going to put it on the tray right now. Move that aside for now. And let's cut up the turkey. A lot of people like to eat lunch meat. And my suggestion to you is, if you're going to do lunch meat, I mean, we have lunch meat in the house, get nitrate-free lunch meat, or get yourself a turkey breast and cut your turkey breast into thin little slices and make sandwiches out of it. Okay, so you can cut it the way I'm cutting it now. I'm doing it backwards here. And now you can make sandwiches with these nice thick pieces of turkey breast. If you do sandwiches, if you don't do sandwiches, you can just put it on a plate and eat it with a fork. You're welcome to throw the skin away or just keep it right on there. And look how gorgeous this turkey breast is. I'm going to try to finish cutting it. It's a little on the hot side, but that's okay.
Tina, what temperature did you cook that at?
Oh, I cooked it at 375, 20 minutes per pound. 20 minutes per pound. And you can see the very first bell that rang this was almost 3 pounds, was 45 minutes, and it wasn't enough. What did it go in there for an extra 10 minutes, Caitlin? A little more maybe? So always, 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 you can have a gauge for how long you want to cook something, but it's not always the truth. Okay. Always check it with your instant read thermometer. Okay. And remember, take it out of the oven at 160, put the tin foil on top, and then 10 minutes later, once it's cooled down a little bit, it should be at 165, and just retest it for 165. So there we have it. And see, I cut it lengthwise like this, so it'll be nice for sandwiches. You could have cut it the other way and serve this with some nice steamed broccoli, some asparagus, some steamed cauliflower, roasted vegetables, anything. Look how beautiful that turkey breast is. Again, people think that turkey breast is for Thanksgiving only. Cook it any time of the year. Just a wonderful treat for your family to have some turkey breast. Now let me clean this up, and our egg bites are going to be done in 5 minutes. Woo, I'm so excited. Look how beautiful that is, our roasted turkey breast. And in a minute, you know what, I'll do it right now. I have a few minutes. I will put some of the vegetables on the side here. We'll put some of those vegetables on here. Plate them. My husband is going to be thrilled when he comes home and sees cooked carrots and cooked onions with this turkey. He's not a huge turkey guy, but when I make it this way, he just loves it. I bet you your family will too. All right, who is going to be more inclined now to make some turkey breast more times of the year than just one time of the year? If you're ready to make some turkey breast more than one time of the year, tell me. Say turkey breast. Put turkey breast in the chat. Look how pretty that is. Look how beautiful that is. What a gorgeous dish. Please serve this to your family. It's so delicious. And if you don't like the rub that I came up with, make up your own. Make up your own. All right, now let's go back to those eggs. You guys ready to go back to those Easter eggs? Let's go back to the Easter eggs. Let me clear this out. We don't want this anymore. A little dirty. Okay, so here we go. We have our Easter eggs. And now we need to do the other pieces, right? We need to add some more stuff in here. The next thing I'm going to do is I've got some organic peanut butter, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of organic peanut butter into each of them, about a tablespoon. Okay, here we go. The caramel is likely not going to be ready. It needed a little bit more time to cook than I thought, which is normal, guys. It's all good. It's probably because I'm cooking on an electric here, okay? So we're gonna put our peanut butter, and then you can use whatever nut butter you want. If you have a nut allergy, try sun butter, which is made from sunflower seeds. Sun butter, which I absolutely love, and I don't have a nut allergy, thank God. Thank God, because I love nuts. What's your favorite nut? Put your favorite nut in the chat. I want to know what your favorite nut is. Put your favorite nut in the chat. My favorite nut are almonds. What's your favorite nut? Cashews. Oh, cashews are wonderful. Love cashews. Pistachios. Good. Good. So here we go. I got the peanut butter in there. All right. Okay. Now these are slivered almonds. You can use whatever nuts you want, but I highly recommend that you toast them. I literally toast mine in my toaster oven on, if you haven't already guessed it, a stone bar pan. Evenly toast, so I don't have to worry about stirring them up. Don't even have to worry about stirring them up. So I already toasted my slivered almonds. And here we go. I'm going to put my slivered almonds on the top of the peanut butter. Telling you, this is a labor of love. I highly recommend that you make them, but once you get once you get it down how to make them and how easy it really is, you just have to stay on top of it, right? Because I had to stir the whole time. My caramel to make sure it's caramelized. And what's your favorite nut? Oh, you already put the favorite nut in there. Whatever nuts you want, whatever nut butter you want, put it in there. So now what's going to go on top is the caramel. But I'm pretty sure the caramel is a little too hot. And it is. It's a little too hot to be putting on. But next, let me just walk you through it. You'd put the caramel on there. Wait for this to thicken up. Don't do it hot. Everything will melt and it'll be a disaster, okay? Wait for this to thicken up. Once it does, divide it in 6 and put it on top. It should be really thick, and it will be probably in about 10, 15 minutes. And then once you put the caramel on top, you'll get your rest of your melted chocolate and put the melted chocolate on top. Put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes and then take them out and pop them out. Actually, I would do it more than 10 minutes. I would put it in the freezer. By the way, the eggs are done, and I need to vent my Instant Pot. And so you don't burn yourself, you take a dish rag. Let me move this over so you actually see it. You take a dish rag and you have the dish rag move that over and keep the dish rag on top so that you don't get a ton of steam going into your face, into your hands, into your kitchen. Okay, let that vent. It's going to take a few minutes. Anyhow, then you'll pop these in the freezer. Let me show you the finished product over here. Let me show you the finished product. Hold on.
Are you able to put the caramel in the fridge to cool it off, or should you always just have it on your countertop?
Great question. You might not have seen this. I was trying to cool it off really quickly, and I got freezer packs and put it on top of freezer packs. Because if you put something really hot in your refrigerator, it heats everything else up in the refrigerator, and things could spoil. So we don't want the milk to spoil or anything else. So, and I wanted to try to get it cooled off quickly, so I just got freezer packs. You could get ice and put it in an ice bath to cool it off quicker. It's almost there. It's almost there. It needs about 10 minutes, like I said. All right, let me show you these eggs, and then I made my Easter eggs, and then I'll show you the egg bites because they're about ready to come out. Okay, here we go. Look how pretty they are. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. Aren't they gorgeous? This is a batch I made yesterday, and I'm going to cut one in half for you so you can actually see it. Okay, you guys excited? Put Easter egg if you're excited. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. If you're excited for these, we're going to cut this one in half, and I'll show it to you. All right, let me just get closer to the camera here. You see that? You see the caramel layer, you see the nut layer, you see the peanut butter layer, and of course the chocolate on the top, the bottom, on the sides. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Aren't they just, cannot wait to eat them. Oh, who is salivating over these? Who's like mouth-watering chocolate, beautiful? I'm just so proud of these, and you will be proud of these as well. And then I'm going to get some pretty foil, and I'm going to wrap them up, and I'm going to give them to my family. I'm going to store them in the freezer. I like to store these in the freezer. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they? I think that they're just gorgeous, just gorgeous. Now let's take a look for our egg bites. Let's see how the Mediterranean egg bites are doing. And we should be wrapping up in about a minute, right? This lid would not open unless it was vented completely, okay? Now, this is hot, so I want you to be careful and always use either a dish towel or pot holders, okay? You see how the trivet made it easier for me to take them out? Oh, look how pretty they are. Look how pretty they are. So we're going to get rid of this, put that back in there, and now we're just going to pop these out. Okay, I'm going to let it cool for a few minutes, and then I'll pop them out because you see it needs a little bit more set. It needs to set for just a few more moments, and then I'm going to pop them out. Did I spray those? Did I spray those with a little olive oil? I might not have sprayed them with a little olive oil. If I'd have sprayed them with olive oil, it would have popped out a lot easier. Okay. But that's the idea. You pop, oh, that one popped out beautifully. This one's popped. Oh, all right. While I'm popping these out, please type in the chat, what did you find most valuable about our time together today? What did you find most valuable about our time together today? Also, if you would like to be a part of my tribe, if some of you are already a part of my tribe, Caitlin's going to put in the chat how you can be a part of my tribe and get my free ebook called the Joyful Gut ebook. So it's tinamcdermott.com/JG. tinamcdermott.com/JG. In the meantime, here we go. Our Mediterranean egg bites. They're probably not the prettiest, but they're really good. So yeah, what did you find most valuable about our time together today? What is that one thing that you're going to take away and go, yes, I got that, and I'm going to implement that from now on? You're so welcome. Thank you. You can
Tina,
smell everything. It's good.
just interrupt you. I know somebody asked before you go if you can repeat the chocolate chip brand and the coconut oil brand that you use.
Gosh, yeah. Chocolate chips, I'll show you. Lily's is with stevia, and Enjoy Life is with regular sugar, but they're still very, very good organic ones. Okay. And the coconut oil is Nutiva and Tropical Traditions. Those were the brands. So yeah, I'd love to know, what did you find most valuable about our time together today? Yeah, great for nut allergies. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Cutting the onion without crying. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm so glad. Thank you, everyone from Fairfax County, for having me here each month. It is such a joy. It is my pleasure. It is my honor. And thank you from my entire heart. And until next time, namaste. Bye for now, everyone. Bye for now. Let's enjoy some egg bites. Oh, I'm so excited. All right. Have a great day. Grazie, prego. Prego. Bye for now, everyone. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.